Hello and welcome to another day. And today we're going to be exploring the Halls of Torment. It's this new game on Steam. It's a vampire survivor type game, which, if you don't know, that was a runaway success when it came out. There have been many games like Vampire Survivors, but and there have been many clones since then, even before that. But it's kind of an interesting genre, and I find myself enjoying it quite a bit. I'm going to pick the warrior to begin with. To catch you up to speed, I have put like an hour and a half, I think, into this game. Just like 3 or 4 runs. And so initially when you begin the game, all you do is you have these quests. Most of them you just end up completing by virtue of playing the game, it seems, at the beginning. And then there are some more difficult ones that you're going to have to plan for. And then once you do some of the quests, you unlock different areas that you can go to, similar to Vampire Survivors. You unlock the Shrine of Blessings, which allows you to reinvest any gold you earned on your previous run into future runs. And it looks like some of these abilities unlock over time, because I didn't initially have Revive when I first started. And then I recently just freed the Wellkeeper, which he allows you to send items while you're in a realm up through the realm so that you can purchase them from him, and then you can sort of begin the game with the items. So where I last left off, I just sent up the Necromancer's Clutch because I thought it was kind of a unique item. It summons skeletons to attack enemies, and I guess there's different types of skeletons. They last a different amount of time and they have different abilities. I thought that would be just kind of fun, and I noticed that it was a seemingly uncommon item because I had never seen it in my first couple runs, and it was just unique. There have been some other items I've wanted, but so far all we're working with is a 20% movement speed. I'm choosing that over the base defense and base block, just because I think if you can outmaneuver the enemies to begin with, you don't really need defense or base block strength. And base block strength seems to be like an automatic block for certain things. It's a percentage chance based on how high your base block strength is versus the enemy's attack, which is pretty useful. But I figure if I can dodge everything, that doesn't matter. And then I have base defense, 25% health. We're doing that over base block and 25% health, because I think base defense, you just take less damage in general. I don't honestly know what's better. They're both pretty similar. And then 30% attack speed, which is much better than the 100% pickup range, because there are power-ups that just draw everything to you anyways, so you don't need to worry about picking everything up. And 30% attack speed is pretty significant. Hello, Jazz. How are you today? And then that's all I have for items so far. So we're kind of like broke. We only have $700, but I've invested it. You can see here, I invested in pickup range. I invested a little bit in movement, a little bit in health, a little bit in defense, heavily into damage, because that's significant to me. And then attack speed I unlocked. I'm going to invest more into that. Range and pickup range. Great, just picked up my new prescription. Awesome, that sounds great. Sounds like you're off work. You don't work today. Sounds like a good day for you. We've also unlocked recently the Warlock, which he has summons. So actually, perhaps if his abilities affect the skeletons, the ring might be good. On my lunch. Gotcha. Well, that's awesome. Pleasure to have you here. How's your week been? We also have the Exterminator, who kind of just burns everything, which he's pretty good. I have to determine. I don't like his initial move speed, though. It's kind of slow. Cleric I don't like because he deals damage in a cone equally split to all foes, which is both interesting, but when you get swarmed, it's kind of annoying because you hit like a ton of enemies and then it equally splits all the damage. Who is that talking in the background? It might just be the game, which I can turn down slightly. I do not know if there's anybody else in the background. Unless I've duplicated my mic, that would be pretty funny. Let's see if that helps. No, it's mainly just the music of the game, I think. Or maybe it's like one of these guys yapping. This dude is yapping over here.
A deal is a deal.
It kind of has like an old Diablo 2 feel, which I enjoyed. And the bow guy is also okay. He has a more higher crit chance. So we're gonna just do a run. Oh, my Twitch is glitched. BRB. Okay. Got it. I just beat the Ember Grounds, and I also obviously beat the Haunted Caverns. And by beat, I mean after 30 minutes, the final boss comes, and then you just have to defeat him. So we're going to check out the new area out of curiosity. I don't know what the occurrence of well springs is, which are the things that you can send up your gear with. I can already see these enemies are significantly stronger than the ones I fought even in the last realm. My general build strat is just go attack speed and then increase my damage. You kind of have an interesting balance. Okay, there is a well. I can see it up here, denoted by the distance away it is from me. So if we just survive long enough to get a good item and then send it up, I would be pretty content with that. Let's do damage. We have pretty good move speed with our boots initially. This level seems to start a little bit faster than other levels, which I do appreciate. The grind from the first level is kind of slow. I wasn't sure if I was going to like this game. I really like the art. But as I play the game more, it seems to be expanding and opening up a little bit, giving me more choices, which makes it more interesting. One of the interesting things about building in this game is you have ability slots, which you can see over to the right. I have 6 of them. And you can pick up ability scrolls, but that may be an advantage or a disadvantage depending on how you play, because every level up you only get 4 things that you can level up. And then once you start getting the abilities, that also starts entering this menu as well. So you have like originally things that affect directly just your character, but once you start getting abilities, then it sort of pollutes the menu with other things you can upgrade relating to the abilities. And the abilities are good, but if your character kind of like sucks, then that's going to hamper you quite considerably. So we're going to take base defense here. So you sort of got to determine whether or not you actually want the abilities and when you want to get the abilities, which is kind of an interesting choice. I don't know if that was their intention with designing this game. I also quite like this new archer enemy. He's pretty unique. The enemies have been okay so far. There's only so many things you can do with like a swarm type mechanic, because all the enemies have to basically come towards you in various different ways. But I do appreciate the telegraphing of attacks seems very good in this game, which is to say that all the enemies are very clearly marked what they're attacking, how they're attacking, and the colors contrast very nicely, making it very easy to see exactly where they're attacking and what you're doing. It actually only gets complicated when you have a bunch of abilities, because they sort of just pollute the screen, and it makes it much more difficult to see exactly what's going on. Alright, so I want to make my way upwards towards this wellspring. Do we want range? No, I think we want damage. Damage is always superior. These things take a lot of hits. Luckily with the movement speed, I can kind of outmaneuver most of these guys here. And then we're kind of retreading our steps so we can pick up some of this experience we missed, as well as move closer to the wellspring. I can see these guys take a considerable amount of hits, so that's going to change my game strat a little bit. Attack speed we go. Skeletons seem to be putting in work. That's cool. The ring is pretty useful. I'd be curious to see what the damage actually is when I'm done. I'm sure it'll show how much damage it's actually doing. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it's denoting here. It just says 2 of 5. I'm back. It's fixed. Awesome. Glad to hear it and glad to have you. You also get some few pickups and stuff by destroying boxes. It looks like we got something that brings everything to us. 30% damage. That is big. Let's do it. Alright, now we're doing 200 damage. We're going to do base defense. You okay? You seem tired. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm just trying not to talk loud because there's businesses going on right now. But I do feel pretty good today. And I got my tea. So, Jazz always concerned about us. What are we gonna do, man? We're gonna have to be concerned about you. I appreciate it, though. No, I'm doing pretty good. I kind of wanted to play a game to chillax a little bit, and then I'll probably go back to programming later. No, that's okay. I find these this genre of games really interesting because it has some different allures to it. The first allure of which people suspect is related to the numbers and the display of numbers, because people just like numbers getting big. They like numbers getting larger and then feeling like they're progressing, which is interesting. And so this game brings like the horde mechanics as well as the that feeling, that dopaminergic feeling of numbers getting bigger that people innately seem to have. Okay, it looks like the wellspring is on the left-hand side over here, so if we get a good item, potentially from this guy, if we kill him, we'll just send it up. I don't know how long we're going to survive. Whoa, I got more chats. There's a small cat on the second floor of my stairs. First time I've seen it, my neighbor said he saw it yesterday. How long should I wait to see if it's a stray? I don't know, man, but if you start feeding it, it's coming back, so I'm not sure. Cat distribution system has chosen you. Yeah, it has. Can you have cats in your apartment? AoE 1v1 when? Dude, I don't know. When are you free to AoE 1v1? I know Thomas is itching for it as well. Took your advice and went to my doctor for ADHD. Really interesting. Yeah, everybody's greeting each other. Awesome. This music is getting much louder, and I don't feel like anything is happening to warrant that. I really don't know what Force does. Nice, good luck. Yeah, so what did you decide to do for your ADHD? God, I hope you didn't get Adderall. Oh, shit. We're gonna go for health, actually. Can we turn down the fucking music, too? There we go. Should I go to the doctor? Yeah, maybe you should see if the doctor can give you a pill for your commitment issues. Now, can we talk about what... Are you planning to be a teacher? What's the deal here? Oh, my God. Drew's letting loose in chat. Base block. Uh-oh. Also, are you, I don't remember. I watched your video, Tyler, about you going for the house. Was that, like, recent? Did you already go see the house? Did you look at it? If so, what'd you think of it? Heather said there's more of me to love. She's really good with her words. Oh, does this just loop, or what is this? I don't know what that is. Looks like we can get an ability. Teacher life would be cringe. Really? Oh, at Bruno. Bruno looks great. Don't hate. Checking out the house tomorrow. Gotcha. That's awesome. I'm curious to see. Are you guys... So, like, what's the deal? Are you guys gonna, like, invest and live together? Are you planning on just moving in, or... Like, what's the plan here? We got gargoyles, new enemy type. They were introduced in dragon form, I think, or yellowish in the last level. They kind of have an annoying pattern where they circle around you, which makes them a little bit difficult to deal with. We're going to take crit chance. I feel we can do more damage, and I'm feeling kind of weak. Oh, got our first hit. Subs make 150 to 200 a day. Obviously no benefits, so kind of cool, kind of not. Like $150 total per day? I'll be buying my weekends back. I want to see what this thing is. I'm kind of ignoring most of the enemies to move over to it out of curiosity. Oh, here's the boss again. The bosses just seem to reappear in a relevant location. This guy, is he...
Tread carefully, my friend. Those scribblings keep the wraiths at bay. While running from those creatures, I've lost the only thing that could get me out of this precarious situation. My potion flask. If you could retrieve it for me, somewhere further northbound, I would be forever in your debt.
Okay, we gotta get a potion. Why am I hating on medications? Good question. I think I generally have malaise for medicine after everything that Jade's went through and my own personal experience with it. Oh shit, we got 2 bosses to deal with now. But I don't know. I guess personally, I'm not a firm believer in taking an exogenous substance to cure some sort of problem with you, because I often think that those just handle the symptoms rather than the cause of the problem, and that the cause of the problem is something you can always handle yourself without the substance. I do obviously believe that there is benefit to certain substances that can potentially help you move in it. Like, there's a bunch of talk about Ozempic recently and how it relates to lowering people's weight to give them the ability to better go to the gym and things like that. And I know everyone's willpower is not necessarily, you know, perfect or things like that. They have other things, pain and whatever, to deal with. But I don't know. I guess I prefer the not using those sort of things, if that makes sense. They only paid when they work. Why would you get paid if you never have to work? Okay, we gotta kill one of these bosses. I'm getting destroyed. I was hoping to do the potion thing. Oh, there it is. Okay, we might be able to get the potion before we die, and then give it to this guy. Let's see what chat I missed. Investing. Scared of Adderall because True used to be a hunk with long flowing hair, and now he's well. Nah, honestly, that probably was SARMs and stress. Now, I've also read a lot about Adderall and then antidepressants and SSRIs and the things that they affect long-term on serotonin. Well, it depends on what you're using, obviously. I believe Adderall primarily affects like dopamine and things like that. But you may end up... The brain is something that does not heal. It is something that once it is messed up, it is stuck that way. I think I'm going to take base defense to try to make it out of this alive. Okay, we got Cupbearer's Flask. I think we might be able to return to this guy. Let's try to weave through this crowd here and kill this guy as well. I'm going to have to get his chest. Oh, okay, we're going to take an ability. Radiant Aura is pretty good right now because I have a lot of guys that are just trying to mob me. So the closeness would help. Let's see if we can return to this guy. These cavalry are luckily pretty easy to dodge. The telegraphing's really cool. They did a great job. Hope y'all are having a very thirsty Thursday. What does that mean? Yeah, I don't think there's any harm in trying a medication out of curiosity. Or things like that. But I think oftentimes the reliance on that is not healthy. I was kind of thinking maybe meds would fix my commitment issues. Yeah, you should try to see if that would help. Obviously, just popping something would be pretty easy. Okay. He's very holistic and against modern medicine. Yeah, maybe. I just have my reservations. I'm reluctant. And sometimes I find it annoying. Yeah, I am gathering that. Because, like, at certain times, it's kind of like... Oh, God. At certain times, it's like, oh, I gotta make it to this guy here. Ooh, shit. Okay, we might die here. Let's do 10% health. Actually, I should do 10% defense. I'm gonna dodge this.
My hopes were not in vain. Thank you.
Okay. Sometimes I just find it annoying because it's like, okay, your doctor tells you, like, oh shit, you have high blood pressure. Well, I guess I'll give you a medication for that. And it's like, okay, I understand that we're working on the symptom of the problem here, which sometimes can be useful, like if the high blood pressure is affecting you, or let's say you have low blood pressure, whatever. But, like, surely there has to be things that you have to change in your life to account. You can't just rely on this medication for the rest of your life. And obviously people do, but I think that's to their detriment rather than just fixing the thing that caused the blood pressure in the first place. Obviously there's genetic predispositions and things like that, but yeah, sometimes. I think doctors are more free with their ability to prescribe things rather than encouraging people to solve their problems. But there is nuance, of course. Everyone is different and they have different things to deal with. And I don't think that everyone is afforded necessarily the opportunity to overcome everything initially. And some people just have bad trauma in past that affects their ability to do things too, so I understand that. I'm not trying to say that it isn't helpful. I'm just wary of it. Chat about Bruno. Oh, I defeated the Wraith Horseman. Somehow. Must have been the lightning struck him. Alright. That sucks. That's okay. When receiving damage, if this is the miracle pill that fixes my life, I'll let you know. It probably will help. If you have ADHD problems, it could definitely help. But it might also have the side effect of turning you into a fucking zombie. That was like too much commitment. Deals 3 times over crit hit to source. Attack damage plus requires melee character. That seems like overpowered. When receiving damage, deals a 3 times over crit hit to source. So whatever attacks me, they take my attack damage plus 3 times my crit bonus. That actually seems fucking OP. But it does replace my attack speed. I don't know if I like that. Honestly, I'm going to take it, though. Let's send it up. Let's try to make it to the wellspring before we die here. Ooh, I don't know if that's going to work. We'll try our best. Maybe we got move speed, we can do it. Okay, well is 300 away. Let's dodge that bullshit. Okay, we got a long text from Bronoham, but I'm trying to survive on the small bridge against impending foes, so give me a moment. 200 meters away. Sad face from Brono. Looks like my lightning is actually putting in quite considerable work here. It is taking out the dragons before they get to me. Enemies are spawning at the edge of my screen, which is good. It means there's not much there. We're pushing them. Okay, we have another boss type enemy. Actually, let's see if we can kill him, because I want to see if he also drops another chest or an ability. That might determine what I send up. Okay, he dropped an ability. Assuming we're going to survive longer. Maybe we just want attack speed. Fuck it. I like Phantom Needles. It's just random and shoots out all around you. Alright, let's send this up. Once you send an item up, it destroys the wellspring. You cannot use it. Oh, torn pages. Yeah, I'm not really into the lore right now, I'm going to be honest. Okay. I'm gonna figure that out. For sure. If it was just an idea, I don't know if that's the best move just because of inconsistency. So if I want to be a teacher, I should become a teacher. But I'm pretty against college, so maybe I can get paid for smoking weed. I love the lighting in these games. I do too. Dude, the lighting in, yeah, Diablo, and even just the kind of like almost clay look to the characters. It's like old and crunchy, and I kind of love it. Apply for international studies program. They're cheap. International? What is even that? Batman the Devil, confirmed. Unless double was intentional, which I doubt it. Like going to school in England. Wow, I'm like really fast. Did I get a buff? Oh, I do. Temporary movement speed. Boost from heaven. I'm gonna increase crit chance and area radius. We actually kind of suck on the regen right now, so I just gotta dodge everything. Ooh, area and range. I'm pretty cool with that. Okay, we're doing damage, and we got a base regen. I was just complaining about my regen. I should probably upgrade it. Survive until there's 18 minutes left. So you can see on the lower right, every so often a boss comes. Currently, we have 18 minutes. I don't know what the hell these are. Ooh. Honestly, I think I'm going damage, frankly. I only do 1 damage to these. What the hell is that? I'm so hungry today, send help. Do you have a lunch? Oh no. Oh, they stack up and form a wall. That's a terribly amazing enemy. I kind of hate them. Okay, let's just... Do I do health? No, let's do attack speed. I can't. I gotta play for the end game. It'll be fine. I'm here. Okay, lightning's putting in work. That's good. We probably want to do regeneration and defense. Dino dance. We're actually going to do base health. We're at 1,000 health. That's okay. We don't have much regeneration, but if we make up for it in defense, that'll be fine. Enemies are thinning. I'm going to approach these guys to try to take them out faster. The gargoyles, as well as these weird statues that take little damage. It actually seems really useful to have the burn effect, because it looks like burn, even though it only does 1 damage, it procs multiple times, which kills those guys faster. If I didn't have burn, this would probably be more suffering if every attack only did 1 damage. Okay, looks like we have multiple variations of those guys. Let's increase the attack speed of Lightning Strike. They're doing pretty good work right now. Radiant Light is also doing pretty good work. If you move in, I could just be a farmer. Tyler, I've noticed that you seem very concerned about getting the maximum amount of effort from doing, or the maximum return from doing the least amount of effort. Is that just, like, is there a reason for that? Is that the general Bruno way, or it just seems like something you're preoccupied with? Base damage? Bruh, we're doing that. It's a bit. I mean, it just, I noticed that you really like these get-rich-quick scheme type stuff. And I'm just curious, like, where it even comes from. I have my speculations. I actually fucking love how this game is expanding as well. Enemy types are becoming more. A farmer gets rich quick? Yeah, I guess I agree with you there. I don't think a farmer gets rich quick. I just meant some of the other stuff. But I'm not really sure what your motivation for a lot of these things are. You don't make it that clear. The teacher thing makes sense. You seem to really like the idea of teaching children. And you express that, but the franchise thing, I was confused about that. You seem to like the idea of being a boss, but I don't really get that. It didn't seem that clear, I guess. Okay, we got our 40% movement speed buff again. Not sure where that's coming from. We have a boss. Shows base block because I'm feeling it. Okay, those just deal damage when you walk into them. They're like spikes. Got it. You can see our health is increasing. Man, 20% range is not bad, but I just fucking love attack speed. I want to be a farmer so bad. You sound like you were a farmer at one point, Jazz. Is that true? Or do you just... Maybe not like a whole farmer, but a homesteader. What does that mean to you? Because I know you mentioned chickens and things like that. Okay, we have an explanation from Bruno. Franchise seems like an okay idea. The way they make it sound makes it too weird. Like you legit buy passive income. I don't understand it. Homesteader, yeah. I grew up in the country where we grew our own food and raised animals. That kind of sounds like farming. It sounds like you have experience with homesteader type stuff. What made you go into accounting if that was something you liked? Kind of curious. Yeah, the franchise seems interesting. It seems like it could be good or bad. Farming is like the industrialization of it for money. I see. So you don't really want that big farm. You want small farm. That's what you're aiming for. Alright, we're doing this. I don't know if we are strong enough to beat this. They were all accountants. It was easy. Oh, interesting. So you kind of were like groomed into being an accountant by your family then, it sounds like. That's not what I was expecting. Yeah, I'm taking Scars of Toil for sure. I actually love this item, but I didn't think I was going to survive, so. It's not really passive. You have to buy properties, so you have to do market research, deal with staffing, and issues regarding building or management. Yeah, that's a fair point, Drew. I did not think about the logistics. I figure he was talking about like being a boss and things like that, and having to manage, and him liking that idea, but I wasn't entirely sure about exactly how it worked. Yeah, accounting is simple. If you can add and read word problems, you can be an accountant. Interesting. So was it the simplification, the simpleness of it that really drew you in? Was it the wage? Was it just by virtue of having a bunch of people you felt like you were competent enough to do it because you could learn from them and things like that, or what? Motivation comes from a closing door syndrome and wanting to provide for those I love. I actually don't know what a closing door syndrome is. Slowly figuring out I'm a mess. I have no idea what closing door syndrome is. I'll look it up. It's a rare genetic disorder that causes abnormalities present at birth. Deafness, onchodystrophy, short or absent nails on hands and feet, osteodystrophy, short fingers and toes. I really don't think you have... Wait, sorry. I have an article from the Jewish Journal, the closed door syndrome. When one door of happiness closes, another opens, but often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which is open for us. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Thank you, Jewish Journal. Okay, so it seems like it's a genetic disorder and also a psychology concept. I will keep that in mind. A lot of them come with a manager and franchise works marketing. Okay, staffing, closing doors and running out of time, or the feeling of it at least. Okay, so you're just you have your own thing that you're calling closing door syndrome, but it doesn't seem to be what that is. I get what you're saying though. My body is perfect. Yeah, you don't have any shortened fingers or lack of nails or hearing loss, so that makes sense. I feel like it's better to describe your thing as like I almost want to say grass is greener syndrome. I feel like that's much more makes more sense to me with the way that you act, but I'm not sure. Obviously, you know yourself better than I do. I only know a perception of you through my eyes. What work do you think you will have to do? True, asking the bitingly hard questions of logistics. Ah, dude. 10 damage, 10 attack speed, area radius? Bruh. It's a good way to put it. Grass is greener syndrome. Yeah, it seems like that, because you like to go between a lot of different things. Not to moralize it and say that that's good or bad. I mean, everyone's life is going to be ultimately a series of decisions, and only they can determine whether it was worth it or not, or whether they liked it. But, yeah, you just seem to flip between a lot of different things, so. I think Bruno doesn't care what the work is. He wants something he feels will be stable and lucrative enough to support his family. I disagree. He obviously cares what the work is because he doesn't want his job right now, which is lucrative and stable. Those are two things that his electrician job is currently, and he's choosing to want to quit that. So, the job matters. I think he probably... I don't know, it's hard to say. From my perception of you, Tyler, it seems like you want something that feels fulfilling and provides income, but often those things require sacrifices. Either or, you know? I'm trapped on, dude. So going over to P&L with your team once a week makes no sense. I don't know what P&L is, but... Yeah, but since he was young, he wants something new that does that. He hasn't had the electrician job forever. And like I said, that goes back to the argument, because you said that he doesn't care what the work is, but he does care what the work is. It has to be something lucrative, interesting, and stable. The job matters to him. I believe that is significant and integral to his decision. Through research, constant, local research, you need to understand the cost and budget. You're definitely close. I want more lucrativity. Lucrativity. I like that word. That's good. I think he wants something... Do I want to say impossible? I don't know. He wants low effort, lucrative, meaningful, challenging for him, and to support his family, if that makes sense. It isn't that lucrative right now. He wants money now. No, it is very lucrative, bro. He makes shit ton of money, dude. He makes so much money, he's trying to invest in a fucking franchise. And all he has to do, if he wanted even more money, is to just take his boss's advice and do the training, and he could make hand over fist if he became a contractor, electrician A, B, like whatever. I mean, if he put 1 to 2 years into that, he'd make even more money than he does now. But it's obviously not just about that, because the job matters. I wouldn't think that you just provide money to someone and then earn money over time. It isn't a 401k. I would say that it's a much more volatile investment, Drew, if that makes sense. Like, it seems like, the business has to succeed for you to make money. Bruno, money reveal. Shit ton, good lord. Dude, he's got money, bro. And you can make a shit ton. I've seen how much these contractors that I call over to deal with stuff that I can't deal make, bro. You can make a ton of money. If I moved out on my own, pretty sure I'd work to live. Yes, that is where this research goes into. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Oh, that's right, you don't have rent. Yeah, he doesn't have rent, but he's under the thumb of Daddy, which is also something he seemed you don't like, which I understand. I get it. I can understand a sense of being trapped and feeling like you have to keep the job as long as you stay where you're at. But you do have the advantage of not having rent and the advantage of having some stuff, but it comes with the sacrifice of having to work a job that you dislike. Something is fishy. Ooh, base damage. Duh. I don't make great money, but I pay the bills. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you're content with that. But I do sense some discontentment from the way you worded that. Like you want to make more money. Oh, dude, I didn't realize there's another ability over here. What the fuck? We're taking content? No, sir. Yeah, you sound like you want to do the farming thing. I don't know how expensive that would be. What is this bird? Hello, Cody. Pen. Hello, Puzzled. How are you? How's your day? We're getting to the end of this run. We have 11 minutes left. I just want ducks and goats. Interesting. Puzzy is here. I have a meeting in a few. Got a skedoodle. Nice having you here, Jazz. I appreciate your conversation. My day was alright. Not too eventful. How's yours? Pretty good. I'm just chillaxing, playing this game for a little bit, and then I'm going to go back to programming off stream, but I wanted to invest a little bit of time into this game because I find the vampire survivor genre very interesting. It seems both deceptively simple to make and not at the same time from a game design perspective, and I wonder what I would do differently. Like, I think about it from, like, okay, you got these mechanics of generally enemies swarming and mobbing you, and then you have to come up with an interesting progression system. I actually really dislike Vampire Survivor's progression system because I'm annoyed about the combinatory effects that you have to go to wikis to, like, learn. I don't really like that sort of knowledge you have to figure out by testing things, if that makes sense. Like, it's kind of annoying because some of those are integral to late game builds and things like that. I prefer the information to be much more upfront. And I have played games before Vampire Survivors that were like Vampire Survivors. It's just that that has become the moniker by virtue of being the most popular lately of that type of game. I'd say this one does some other interesting things. I like the almost roguelite progression system of items. And it sort of has like a Diablo build your character type of thing, but it doesn't look like it has the advantage of having the randomized loot effects that make Diablo so intriguing. Like you have obviously legendary gear that has random rolled stats and things like that, at least not initially. I'm obviously only a couple hours into this game, but I'd be curious to see later down the line if this game implements some of the random loot generation that I really like in games like Diablo or even Borderlands and things like that that make it so compelling to want to engage with it. The loot is sparse initially, and I actually feel the ability system of adding abilities in this game is almost unnecessary and probably should be retooled personally. I do not like it that much, but I understand why it's here and included. This just seems pretty good. Okay, I know I have like a gajillion chats I missed. It's a long response. Gotta drive, but I'm listening. Awesome. Any job is not the cause of you becoming old, fat, or dumb. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Drew on some level, but I also disagree because I think that your internal environment and your external environment reflect as above, so below, as below, so above. So this concept of, if you hang around a bunch of people that are demoralizing, like lazy, uninterested, unambitious, like you're inevitably going to become them just by virtue of being around them. And it is integrally important that your environment reflects the person that you want to be, and that you shape that accordingly, because it does have a significant effect on you. Because the basic thing is your habits, become who you are. They define eventually what you become. And your thoughts, are reflective of those habits. So if you're constantly thinking about those things, that's just going to reflect your actions, and then your actions are going to reflect your habits, and your habits are going to reflect essentially your character, which will inevitably reflect your destiny. So I do understand where Tyler's coming from, and I also think whatever the justification for leaving his job, if he doesn't like the job, I think he should just fucking leave it. End of story. I don't think the justification for it matters, but I think he should be pragmatic about determining what he actually wants, because if he wants money and easy money with low effort, I would say this is the job that can give him that, assuming he puts in more time to it. And it is much clearer path than other paths, but I also understand all the other stuff he's dealing with regards to that. So I slightly disagree with Drew. I think, we got a Hydra over here. Endgame for me is getting a non-mind-numbing job that puts money in my pocket without having to work more than 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. What will that ever happen? Who can say? Understandable. I can understand your endgame. Yeah, it's a lot of time, and you only have so much time, so I definitely understand feeling like you're spending an exorbitant amount of time for somebody else. Okay, this is terrible. These statues are... Oh, the Hydra moves. Okay, that's convenient actually for me. Is this the final boss? No, it's not. We have 7 minutes left on the clock. I'm taking a lot of damage. I should probably focus on actually clearing out these terrible statues. But I'm also dodging things from... Okay, I took that. I just tanked that. Okay, I'm actually doing poorly, but... Let's try to keep moving. Okay, this is a bad position. I have a slow effect or something? Probably for this, I should have went with a... Yeah, let's take base defense to reduce some of this damage we're taking here. We're not losing too much health, even if we're doing poorly at dodging. Okay, there's like way too many of these statues, but they're also, even if I can't necessarily kill them, they're not as active as the other enemies, so that may be an advantage for me in trying to just kite this guy and kill him. What the fuck is that? I mean, I have to go the other direction? Okay, we defeated the Hydra, and I can't get to his loot because we have a good showing of these guys in the way. Okay, we gotta level up. Amount of available strong wine. Well, I wish I had the ability to... Oh, we have another one. Dude, hood? Base defense is amazing. I wish we had another well to send that stuff up. We do not, though. In fact, there's nothing on the map. So we have 6 minutes. I assume we're going to be swarmed with enemies pretty closely here. Part of me is curious to run through these guys to see how much damage I take, but I will refrain unless absolutely necessary. I have a feeling the bridge wraps. Asking for a job that is also your passion, which Bruno doesn't seem to have, based on what he says, is like asking a beggar for $1 billion. Yes, I agree. I do think that investing time into discovering what your actual passion is before you know, making decisions is valuable. That makes sense to me. But I also understand the job takes up a lot of his time, which may prevent him from investing some of that time into discovering. So it's a balance. Like, he has to have the time to be able to explore what he potentially wants, and it may be the case that he feels he doesn't have the time to explore in that, or he doesn't have the energy because he feels like it's being sapped. I don't know. There's some obvious aspects of perception that matter, as well as that. Yeah, that's true, but maybe build enough cash to sit on while he explores. He does have, from what I understand, cash enough to, you know, consider investing into a house with Heather, so... The difficulty, I think, is finding the passion, but I suspect that that is not the answer to his question. I suspect that isn't the question he should be asking, actually. I should rephrase. I actually just read something relevant to this. Here, let me pull it up. I don't know if this is entirely right, but I wrote this quote down because I was going to look into it more. It's called the Ikigai concept. The Japanese, Ikigai, I said that right. This Japanese concept involves finding a balance between what you love, what you're good at, and what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. Mapping out these elements can provide a more holistic understanding of your purpose. So what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can be paid for. Oh, wait. What you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can be paid for. 4 things. So you got to find something you're good at, got to find something the world needs. Why do I keep missing one here? Love, good, need, paid. Okay. For some reason, I keep conflating love and good, which is interesting in my head, I guess. Things I'm good at, I love. I guess that makes sense for me, personally. Interesting conflation. But I thought that was a pretty interesting concept. Because, yeah, you have to do something that is valuable to the world, because that directly affects the paid aspect of it. And then to find something you love and are good at the same time. I'm doing quite a bit of damage. I think I'm going to take the crit chance. Just to crit harder. We're basically just running around for 4 more minutes until the final boss spawns, and then we're going to see if we can take him. I actually do not think I'm strong enough for him, but we'll see. Also note that I do get more damage when I lose life, I believe. Okay, we're kind of outrunning all these enemies, and I want to actually kill more stuff, so I might just go in the other direction here. I enjoy the clanking bone sound that they have. It's oddly satisfying. I'm reminded of the retrospective of Diablo or something, or some kind of game developer thing. I think it was the post-mortem on one of the Diablo games. But they were given a speech about it, and one of the things I loved is they were talking about the weird dude that they got to do the sound and the music. I guess he just kept sending them like a mixtape, and eventually they relented and were like, okay, we'll call this guy in. And the dude would just kind of like show up, play the game, and do like an hour of work, maybe like 30 minutes of work a day. And the stuff he did was like so crazy. Like for the bone sound, he took like a cup and then put like pencils and dice in it and just kind of like rolled it, and everyone thought the sound was like absolutely perfect. I thought that was so funny. And then he made the music and he did other stuff. But the bone sound just being a bunch of things in a cup was absolutely hilarious to me. I found that to be super funny. And then I've also seen Mortal Kombat in their sound design. They were talking about like the crunches for like how they get the crunchy body part sound, like when people break legs and stuff. And the dude takes like a green pepper, holds it up to the mic, and just like rips it in half and like squeezes it. And that crispiness of the pepper is essentially what they use. I thought that was also super funny. Just some of the like little game design tricks you can use to get like more interesting sounds. I sort of use like the chiptune stuff for jump off the bridge, so I haven't had much experience doing like actual sound design, but I've been logging all of them in my brain, trying to remember for when the moment arises and I need like a particular sound. I also try to keep wary of like different sounds that I like, and where I could potentially record them. I noticed when I was doing my hike, the bridges, these like big, large pieces of just felled trees cut in half, had an amazing hollow, like wood sound, almost like is even better than the punching sound in Minecraft when you punch wood. So I might have to just go back to Pennsylvania to record it. We'll see. Maybe I'll make a mining game next. Something where you can cut wood. And I absolutely adored it. Okay, we've reached our slowly moving horde of ethereal ghosts that push us ever upwards. A metaphor for the bridge of life. And the thousands of people that have come before you, marching onward endlessly. As you can't escape the temporal machinations that eventually lead you to death. Wow, this game is so symbolic. There's so much story here I didn't think about. 2 minutes left. Okay, let's see. I'm curious to see what this boss is. Pretty sure the cat is not stray based on how it is continually looking down the hallway of the second floor. Interesting. I guess that's good news. It means you don't gotta, you know, worry about it. I don't even remember if I asked you, are you allowed to have pets in your thing? Did you play Swarm, the Vampire Survivors League game mode? No, I did not. That does sound interesting. I find it interesting to see all the different types of games they can play with League, but I am still forever cringing that they got rid of Dominion. I think that's what it was called. I fucking love Dominion. I also love Twisted Treeline before they removed it. I had some of the best 3v3s ever in that game. I absolutely adored it. I have not tried it, though. Unfortunately, it's gone for now. Yep, like all the League game modes. They flit in for a moment, and then they're gone. %40 damage? Sure, man. I love Radiant Light. Let's just Radiant Light the hell out of these guys. Okay, 1 minute till D-Day. Till B-Day, I should say, the boss. The dulcet tones. Like playing a xylophone of skeleton bodies. They recently tried to make an arena permanent game mode, but didn't work out because people stopped playing it. Yeah, I think people just generally get bored. Oh man, we got a Brono response, dude. I feel that spending 8 hours, a third of my day, with old fat dumb people would inevitably add to my old fat dumbness. I agree that I can be gym learning for 8 hours a day. Seems like a 50-50. Game of tug of fat dumb. Interesting. Yeah, you'll have to figure out what the balance is for you, honestly. At the end of the day, it comes down to what you're interested in. But like I said, I agreed with that concept of, you know, I don't think it's healthy overall to your eventual person you become to hang around people that don't embody the traits that you want to be, if that makes sense. But it's also difficult because you don't really, at least from my understanding, it sounds like you don't necessarily have an understanding of your purpose or what you necessarily want to be. So exploration, I think, needs to be the priority. But my advice may not work for you. It is one size fits all, and I am the recipient. Okay, so I'm getting closed between two sides here. That's kind of interesting. So there actually was people on the top, and they're just closing me in. I'm assuming they will dissipate when the boss finally arrives to greet me. Okay, here we go. Hello, Thomas. How are you today? Okay, we have interesting boss techniques. You don't need 8 hours to stay simulated and keep your body in shape. You can be learning while sitting in your truck or whatever, can't you? You only need to work out for 30 minutes a day to keep in shape. Seems like you're equating them when it's just not the same. Interesting, but I also understand. Okay, this boss seems like a collection of various bosses. I love this hand attack. That's awesome, dude. I might steal that for my game. Okay, he has a... Okay, he has like an invisible... Okay, basic dodging. We can attack him like this. Pretty straightforward. Let's do our base regen, I guess. If I get close to him, the radiant light does damage, but I don't want him running into my ass. I love the little skeletons that just charge him with the lance. I noticed that some of the bosses, when they get low life, they have this habit, probably programmed, to just sort of run into you. Doesn't seem like that's the case. Defeat the Lord of Despair. Well, we did it. He's freaking done. Oh, is this another wellspring? Please. Dude, you're kidding me, right? Oh, man. I want to use this so bad. I wonder if that's been there the whole time. Oh, I turned on auto attack somehow. Yeah, I'll leave the halls. Okay, I got 4K. Let's see what that ring did. It did 800,000 damage. That's pretty good. For just a ring you bring in, I'm kind of content with that. Looks like we got a bunch of upgrades. Return to camp. To write a pre-presentation for tomorrow. What are you presenting on? Not saying I don't understand. It definitely makes it harder. Habits are infectious. Yeah, that makes sense. Habits are infectious. Oh, we got a new guy. Warhammer. Oh, we got a girl, too? Sorceress? There's a lot of characters in here. Cast Chain Lightning. Night Culture. Interesting. Does he have 2? Smashes enemies in circular area. Pushes away. Is this Vampire Survivors? No, it's like a new game that is in the same genre of Vampire Survivors. It's called Halls of Torment. I honestly want to try this guy. I want to see the shield bash. Alright. That's not bad, but I don't want to buy it yet. Oh, we got some weird Gatherer's Charm. Direction of new. Okay, well, we don't have that filled, so 30% attack speed. Give me my move. And then let's do base block strength, I guess. We could just do base defense. Fuck it. Okay, we still need a helmet. We need a mark, and we need a ring, another ring. Let's see the blessings here. So revives you after reaching 0. That seems pretty good, but I haven't necessarily been dying. I kind of just want to invest more in damage. Is that silly? Maybe I should invest in my attack speed first. Movement speed's not a bad idea either. I'll just save and wait for damage, then I can fill that out. If I had to do something for 40 hours a week that numbs my brain with boredom, I would not be able to. That may also be due to my ADHD, and given Bruno's aimlessness, I'm starting to suspect he may have something also. I wonder about this ADHD thing. I don't know if that's just a symptom of the culture we live in currently versus like something that's inherently like innate to people. I don't know. Oh, we got a cupbearer.
Salutations and good health be upon you.
Honestly, I wish I could go through this faster.
To see you safe and sound. I am Rafik, the cupbearer. My humble services will be.
All right, my expectation is that he makes us temporary buffs that we bring into the thing.
I can can supply you with beverages and potions that might improve
Yeah.
your odds down in the hall.
Predictable.
For now, a bottle of wine.
Okay. What do you have?
Good to see.
Reroll complete selection of traits when leveling up. That's fucking awesome, actually. Reroll traits? Sounds like I need to get more wine, bro. Sending bottles up through the well increases availability.
Take good care.
Hype. I'm glad the game is expanding. I've been keeping up with 30 minutes and I try to learn and plot while at work. Makes me think it's something more I feel is lacking. Probably both. In my case, it's tied to minor brain deformity, but yeah, probably both. Minor brain deformity. Interesting. We've beaten the aqueduct. Or the viaduct. Do we want to do Frozen Depths? I really don't see why not. There's nothing stopping us. Oh, does it... Is it really that slow? That's fucking terrible. Oh, it does a lot of damage, though. I guess we're doing damage. Interesting. This guy is very slow, but does a lot of damage. Guess we're doing base block. Oh, this thing is leading me towards other things. I guess we'll go in this direction. Guess give me some more movement speed. Maybe range? Something a little off with my brain, and they think that's the source of the ADHD. It also has a side effect of inhibiting my brain's production of melatonin, so I have trouble sleeping without supplements. Interesting. Are you somebody that goes outside a lot too, or no? Interesting and unique. Everybody has their own cross to bear. I think I'm actually going to invest in these abilities sooner because this guy is kind of a little bit of suffering. Crit bonus. We're going to just do strength again. Yeah, I didn't even know something like that was possible. I suppose it makes sense, though. Is this walkable? It is not. I'm being trolled. I want this ability badly. I frankly would have preferred if the abilities were just one ability was on the left click and the other ability was on the right click, because that would make me feel like I'm actually doing more stuff than this really slow wait between abilities, but it's whatever. Phantom Needles is probably better for us earlier. Alright, now we're going to make our way up to the other points of interest. Okay, we're getting destroyed. Maybe commitment in general. It sounds like you were looking for some miracle answer to fix a problem. Willingness to try new things to do. We're definitely doing attack speed. Our attack speed is atrocious. Doesn't matter if I go down. Seems irrelevant. Sit there for like an hour without supplements. With a small supplement, I go to sleep in 10 minutes. Interesting. Do you do any meditation or anything like that either? Just curious. Like, if you like streaming and make videos, why don't you edit? Why don't you make a script for an idea? When will you be up to play some Age of Empires? I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. Maybe tomorrow? I don't know what time works for you, because you live 8 hours in the future. I'm not necessarily feeling it today. I'm definitely going to go to work after this. I need to cure my neurosis by being productive. Oh man, argument. So I'm being a puss. I like new things, but thinking I just need to dive and stop looking around for shiny objects. Commitment issues are only fixed by commitment, Sag. Depends on what you mean by meditation. I do often just sit in silence for a few minutes and think about myself and things. I don't follow any teachings, though. Interesting. Yeah, I guess for meditation, I mean like an active effort to sit down, silence your mind, and do like a breathing exercise. That's generally what I consider meditation. And obviously, there's a ton of schools of thought for different things. You know, I haven't gotten to this point of interest yet, but I just want to say it would be kind of cool if this was a block of frozen ice that only needed fire to be able to be melted to reveal some sort of character. That would actually be fucking awesome. Glad there's a nice supplement for you to sleep. Yeah, that is good. I don't remember what the adverse effects of melatonin are from taking it consistently, but if your brain doesn't produce it because of a deformity, that also kind of makes sense. A lot of base block strength. Maybe this guy just needs base block strength. Perhaps because he's slow. Maybe his goal is just block everything, and that's how you play this character. We're gonna increase Phantom Needles, I suppose. I'm proud. Oh! Radiant Aura would actually be really useful for me right now, since everything is absolutely mogging me. I might have to come back with a fire character for this. Oh. Yeah, I already figured it out, bro. Come on, my dude. You think I'm dumb? I already know what the problem is. Okay. That's another interesting concept in games, because one of the reviews I really liked about Kingsfield, the original one for PlayStation 1, and even some of the Dark Souls games, I had read an article that talked about one of the things the guy really liked about the game is that the game made him feel like dignified, like it gave him a sense of dignity, because the game doesn't treat you like a dumb idiot. It just assumes you can figure it out, and that you're going to go on your merry way and either suffer a ton to figure out exactly how to play the game, or you're just going to give up. And it doesn't necessarily care whether you do either, which is something I kind of admire about the game design, and I try to put in my own game design. Like, anything that has, like, overt tutorials and treats you like you're an idiot isn't really dignifying you, so I like that games sometimes just, you know, they just are a game, and you can either challenge it and try to overcome that challenge, or you can, you know, slink away and retreat and forfeit against it. It's kind of interesting. So in this case, I would have preferred if there wasn't a dialogue option literally telling use fire, because I can clearly see that my attacks have no effect on it. And my next immediate assumption, by virtue of being a human that exists on Earth that has seen ice at some point or another, and know that ice is cold, as well as that fire is warm, and that ice has the transformative property of melting. I know this is a lot just for something seemingly so simple, but it is kind of fucking annoying. It's like, dog, I get it. I would rather you have some sort of, like, particle effect that denotes that I'm not dealing damage to it, rather than it just sit there and my abilities have nothing. Like, if you just showed some sort of, like, clink or, like, sound, like, I would rather that than somebody explicitly telling me frozen in the ice, use fire. Like, it's kind of fucking dumb. Alright. I wouldn't say that, but it's the same vein. Liking and trying new things does not equal commitment issues, but it can lead to issues if you have no normal or drive to return something. I don't think commitment issues can only be fixed by commitment. That's how you ignore your feelings and gloss over your weakness. Figuring out the source of your commitment insecurity and working on that is a more stable fix. It's the issue when I start to stream too. I see all my games and get dazed. If you like streaming or making videos, why don't you do that more? Streams are like 30 minutes of doing nothing, 45 minutes gameplay, 30 minutes of outro doing nothing. You could try to make a full playthrough and then edit it down 10 minutes, no longer hard. Probably heard it before. People who become successful doing a hobby get that way because they do it an ass load. A bit more structure would help. I would say in this case, Drew, I don't really think Tyler is necessarily asking for advice. At least he didn't explicitly state that, but we seem to keep giving him advice. I don't really remember in the conversation him asking for it, but it was just a general conversation. Structure is good. Not sure how to create that, though, besides commitment to do something. I agree with puzzle. You should definitely identify aspects of why you're having feelings that you're having. And you should also consider whether that is a weakness or not. Because there are advantages to not committing to things, as well as advantages for committing to them, as well as disadvantages for both. I do agree with this streaming thing. I've noticed, Tyler, your streams are kind of this format lately. I do appreciate you focusing on something. No, I like that advice. Going to implement. Okay. Just giving you the room in case you weren't necessarily asking for advice. Yeah, the solution for commitment issues. I do definitely think introspection helps. Something I've been thinking about lately in my own life is, people have this understanding of that there's always going to be some kind of answer to their problem. Like they identify a problem and then they try to come up with an answer. But something I've been thinking about lately is, like, what answer am I willing to accept for my problem? Because oftentimes, like, answers can be really simple and almost, like, trivially dumb for people's problems. And they don't want to accept that, and so their brain doesn't conceptualize that could possibly be an answer, necessarily. And I also think people generally need problems like in order to exist. They need to be solving things. So I wonder if life is like filled without problems. You just end up like imagining them and then dealing with them, sort of thing, and then they manifest by virtue of like psychosomatically imagining them, sort of thing. Like I wonder like the difference between somebody that actively creates their own problems for with which to solve and then feels that sense of accomplishment from solving. But this is kind of like more psychoanalytical than... Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thought I had. What answer am I willing to accept for my problem? Whatever that problem is. And is the problem an actual problem? Is it something that like physically, tangibly exists that has data that I can prove it exists? Or is it just something I'm creating by virtue of not having struggle and man necessarily being divinely drawn to have struggle and overcome it as part of the hero's journey? I wonder. And I say man, but I'm including women obviously in this as well. They are not excluded from this process of the hero's journey either. I don't know what my goal is here. I guess I can... It says I got 2 wine. Oh, reroll selection of traits. But does that expend the wine? If so... I have a song that explores the idea of creating your own problems. Doesn't offer a solution, though. Yeah. That's interesting. Like, I sort of, when I'm programming, for example, like, I create problems to, like, overcome. Like, I'm like, hey, I want to try this level idea. This is compelling to me, but it's also, like, challenging and engages, like, some sort of, like, competitive aspect in myself to try to do something interesting. And the difficulty for me is I seem to have, like, the perfectionism, which I'm working through, as well as, like, the lack of follow-through on some of my ideas and things like that. So I have like some aspects of procrastination, some aspects of follow through, some things like that. But when I have those problems, when I'm working on my game and things like that, everything else just sort of like fades away. We're gonna take Flame Strike. Let's see if we can take care of this fucking ice thing before I die here. But like all of those things simply become my fixation, and none of my other problems matter, and I can completely ignore food and every other possible thing when I'm working. I have an unprecedented amount of focus with regards to solving a problem like that, which I know some people consider like a flow state at different times, but I also think there's an aspect of it simply just being a problem I've created that I want to solve, and I'm motivated to solve problems naturally by being human or something like that. I don't know. Okay, we're burning this ice. We seem to have done some damage. I keep dodging my own skeleton's thing out of fear of being hit. Okay, we got this guy. He is completely unhampered by the fact that he was frozen. None of his capillaries, nerves, veins, nothing destroyed. Meet me at the surface. Yeah, whatever, dude. We've gotten the scripter. Honestly, should we just go full in Radiant Aura build? Did I miss a chat as well? I think I did. I'm going to slash my own tires. That's a good idea, Drew. Anything to create problems to deal with yourself. Base defense. Let's just go defense and Radiant Aura. Radiant Aura is going to put in the work for me this round. I have to get close enough but not get attacked at the same time. Kind of difficult, frankly. We need base regen. We suck. Cody doesn't give a F. I don't, dude. Send it. Unless you're talking about I missed a chat message from Tyler. No, I did not. Or Drew. Reach level 30, bro. Easy. Defense and regeneration. That's all I wanted. Thank you. Okay, this is a precarious situation. Can we go upward? My radiant blinding light. We're doing base block strength, I told you. Defense, we got the 10% increase, so we might as well use it. Oh, we got like a weird dragon thing that spits fire. Okay, it spits various forms of fire. I'm having a hard time hitting it by nature of... Ooh, double fire. Kind of a cool effect. Base defense. Sounds good. Let's never get hit again. Oh, I got hit again. Perhaps I should make my way to the well and see if there's something I can't send up. This dragon's going to be annoying, though, so we're going to want to take care of it. Okay, we sort of just destroy absolutely everything. Can we get close to this guy? Base health would be nice. We're kind of suffering health-wise. Okay, I see some... We're defending against stuff, so we're blocking shit that could be dealing damage. Our build is sort of working. My health regen kind of sucks. Okay, let's get an item. Maybe we'll just straight up send it up. 50% crit chance. Each kill charges it. Oh, Scars of Toil. I actually really want to send up Scars of Toil. I want that for all future runs. I haven't been following this hand thing over here, but I can take a look at it in a second. Can we send this up? Yeah, send it up. And that, okay, I took it from our inventory. Sweet. Should we go get the other ability too? I mean, why not? We're somehow living here. I was expecting nothing but certain death. Especially with this slow-ass character. Oh, there's just more lore. Law and lore. Okay, we're walking. We continue upwards, escalating. the crunching of small bones and sticks. As we move 340 meters in the north direction. Level up. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Okay. Phantom Needle's got an upgrade. Sucks to suck. They're doing damage, so I'm not really opposed to it. Okay, we gotta go the long way. There's a carrot. That's health, I think. Which do base regeneration. It's really slow right now. We're only 12 minutes in. Radiant light does significant damage. Okay, let's grab this. I love lightning. I will never not choose lightning when it comes up. Base block, might as well. Alright, I'm going to pay attention to these hands now. We're going to try to move in a direction where it's telling me things are. Unfortunately, it seems to vacillate quite considerably, so a little difficult in determining my ultimate direction. But perhaps it will be visible upon getting closer. I should want attack speed now. $18 minutes left, okay. We're making progress. Nice health upgrade there. Or health refill, I should say. Oh, there's another ability scroll. I didn't even see that. Let's just do Flame Strike, upgrade it. Yeah, we're doing this. Even though, actually that might not have been that useful. It would be better for bosses, but our light already seems to kind of just destroy everything it comes in contact with. So I don't know if that was necessarily the best investment to take something that only makes it stronger for afflictions. I'm going to take the attack speed. I'm feeling pretty good about my defense right now. Oh, this is really green and in this direction. Okay, there's something here. Find my potion ingredient. Okay, let's search for the other one. Looks like that's easier than I thought because it is outlined in a green hue. Attack speed and damage. That's pretty good. Not many enemies to deal with. At least in this wave. Yeah, I feel like these games, the Vampire Survivor genre, hinges mainly on three things. Its ability to denote the escalation of power for the player. So something that visibly showcases your progress, whether that be bigger numbers that expand based on the actual size of the number, like they correlate to the size, or some other type of hectic progression via complicating the screen with like various particle effects or enemies dying visibly. That is definitely one of the main draws for making a game like this successful. The second one would definitely hinge on the progression system itself and how intuitive it is, and whether the choices you make feel valuable. So to reiterate, the first one would probably be the ability to showcase the progression, and then the second one would be to make sure that your progression feels meaningful, which I guess are both correlated. And my third one would probably be enemy design. I think it hinges a lot on having interesting enemies that are interesting to outmaneuver. I have noticed that not a lot of these games play with movement mechanics necessarily that well for both the player as well as the enemies, and it feels like the enemies themselves are just kind of like boring reiterations of the same thing. I noticed that, like, in this game, it has an interesting mix between some ranged enemies and enemies that just sort of swarm you, and even the swarm enemies have varying different aspects of movement. Like, I noticed in the beginning levels there were slimes that only moved orthogonally. There are enemies that sort of swarm in a spiral, which is interesting. There are flying enemies that sort of just float listlessly, like, towards you in a some kind of like golden ratio pattern, which is kind of unique. So it is very interesting to see the different types of enemies in this game, and I think that's why it is succeeding the way it is, because of that. We're going to take Dragon's Breath. I know I have a bunch of messages I didn't see. I appreciate you guys helping me out. I feel like these talks happen too often. I should pay you guys for therapy. I won't. I'll take the money. Imagine having friends you can talk to. It's suffering for puzzled. No, got a few habits to break, but I'm hoping you can replace them with what we spoke about. Going to go monk mode. We got you, fam. Heart. Monk mode. I want to know what your version of monk mode is, because I don't think it's what you think it is. And I don't think it's what you think I think it is either. I also noticed there were a couple enemies that left like temporary things on the ground that you had to avoid. I quite like that too. There were like these slimes that created lava or like poisonous effects. That was also neat. So I think this game definitely nails the enemies thing down. I feel the progression, but it is very slow right now. The progression of escalating your abilities and only sending one item up each run. I think the reason it feels so slow is because each run is like 30 minutes long. And that feels really long in comparison. It almost feels like a League game. And that's one of my criticisms for League, is how long the games generally take. So... bonus version of playing Monk on WoW and going punchy, drink beers. Yeah, punchy. Is there another version? That doesn't necessarily explain Monk mode. I mean, usually Monk mode, in order to be a monk, you have to make, like, significant sacrifices. Like, it's kind of like going Monk mode is like a effort and selflessness in some way for, you know, exploring the internal self, devoid of modern things like pleasure or alcohol or whatever it is. I mean, they usually requires a lot of sacrifice. It's not necessarily just punching things out. I think that's generally what the popular culture determines going monk mode is like being like a tough and strong monk. But I believe a lot of it relates to sacrifice generally, of both modern amenities, materialism, pleasure. Like it's quite a considerable amount of sacrifice. In fact, I think going monk mode actually would look like you giving up having to find a purpose, which might be antithetical to necessarily what you're trying to do. It sort of seems like a state of contentment with simply just being rather than using it to affect some sort of means to an end, right? But obviously I'm being pedantic, I understand. I know what you mean when you say monk mode. I just find it interesting that the grind set culture, this idea of people finding their self-worth through money, is co-opting something which generally seems to be about giving all of that shit up, right? Like it's kind of like the ultimate irony that we're repurposing something that isn't about any of those things. It's simply about having meaning by virtue of being in some aspect, and replacing it with like all these monikers of how you feel this external value by doing these things and meeting the standards of society rather than defining them by yourself. I can my annoyance with this subject is not lost on me. I do understand. I am being particularly harsh. I guess we can do multi-strike. I don't like multi-strike because it says plus 10% multi-strike, and it's like, what does that even mean? I drive. I wish you could see your level up options in advance and pre-select one while waiting for it to come instead of having to pause every time. Yeah, I can understand that. I kind of like the pause in a way because it gives me like a moment to like talk to you guys. It's kind of like a perfect chat sort of enabler. But yeah, I do agree. That is a disadvantage from these games. There is a diegetic concept of like the game is actively pushing you out of being involved in the game in a way. And that might be something this genre has to solve going forward, is how to make that sort of transition between progression as well as making decisions and still engaging with the game more seamless. So that's an interesting point. It is kind of annoying to be thrown out of it every single time. The pause is fine and it can be useful for thought, but if you know the build you're going, it should be an option. Yeah, I agree. Actually, a potential easier solution to this problem is if all of the abilities were color-coded, because it would be much easier to mentally see and lock in on something. Like if attack speed had like the color orange, I could just go, oh, attack speed, and not even think about it. Color coding or having sort of symbols that reflect that. Something to make the letters and words stand out more so that I could just quickly, actively engage with the thing that I want to engage with without having to read through the text that's difficult to parse through by nature of all being white. Do I like it more than Vampire Survivors? Yes, I do. So far, I enjoy it more than Vampire Survivors. The reason I enjoy it more than Vampire Survivors is because the enemy variety is much better so far. The landscape variety is interesting to me. And something I really dislike about Vampire Survivors is the combination of items. I dislike not knowing what items I need to combine to make the item I'm looking for, and I hate having to go to a wiki to find the answer to that question. So that is primarily what I like about this game over that. The thing I dislike about this game is the progression seems a little slow. I know I am unlocking like a bunch of characters, and I'm seeing more items, and I'm surviving, but it takes 30 minutes, and I feel like I make incremental progress each time. So this game feels like it's kind of a time sink in that regard. Spawns power up, interesting. I mean, we already have all of these things. I'm just going to take the headband because I can't send anything else up to the surface, and I don't have a head-related thing. So even if it's not technically that useful for me, I'm going to just grab it. Something I do dislike about this game too is I dislike that the abilities start to pollute the level up menu. I wish there was like a section for level ups relating to your character and level ups relating to specifically just the abilities you have. But I also understand, like, they just added the concept of rerolls with wine and things like that, so I'm sure it'll be easier to manipulate and get the exact things you're looking for. Actually, just a test. Actually, I want this base defense. Yeah, I'm taking base defense. Next, I want to try using the wine and see if that's 2 per round, or if it does actually use it up, and it's something I have to continually get, which would be kind of annoying. I don't think that's how it works, but it could be that way. I mean, 2 per run of 30 minutes is already kind of low to begin with, so I don't suspect that they're going to make it a... Well, they might make it an expendable resource, because you could pay the herbalist to make you more wine in some way. I don't know. But I also know that if I get 10 wine, he seems like he might offer the ability. I might wait. I don't want to spend wine if I'm going to lose it, because it seems kind of rare initially. I also don't know if it's map specific as well. And I don't know if this is a sort of game where I shouldn't be beating every level, like 30 minutes. Like, perhaps I should just go in, get the materials, send an item up, and die. But it also seems like the item quality increases later. So, like, do I have to just survive the entire time and then, like, send an item up, like, later rather than early? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just going to increase these abilities. Butt chug the wine. Yeah, I'll see if they have a character option for that, Drew, just for you. Then we can film it. Satisfying that craving of yours. Imagine if this HUD could be populated by a set of smaller icons indicating your upcoming level up. The images and color indicating the upgrade. If you don't click it, you'll get paused like normal. A lot of this is just useless empty space. Yeah, I could see that. I honestly wonder if part of this game is made with the intention of going to mobile, because I noticed that things are a lot more inflated and empty with regards to making a mobile version for, like, obvious visibility and things like that. This game kind of screams mobile vibe to me in that way, in some, things like that. Like the way everything's formatted kind of around. But I don't know. From what I've learned from playing these games, surviving is almost always better than dying. Yeah, I think that's true just for progression. But this is a game that also has some other effects of, like, you collect items as you go on. And if I'm just trying to gain things for the herbalist to grind them, if I just get the items and die, then that seems faster to progress to get the potions unlocked, to then use the potions in my runs, but I'm not sure. I'll check after this run and we'll see if the potions necessarily require a lot of materials, or if it's something I think I can just do passively in the background without much autonomous thought. Without much conscious thought, I should say. If it is more autonomous, that's what I'd be going for. That's what I meant. Is it something I have to actively engage to pursue, or is it just like a side quest that I can mentally not think about? So we have 8 minutes left till the final boss. I actually was not very confident at the beginning of this run about my outcome, but it seems the radiant light as well as the blocking is doing significant work. I'm just going to upgrade lightning strike, as my abilities seem to have filled out and are carrying the run quite significantly. My attack itself feels relatively useless, but I'm sure at the end screen we'll see that it's much more useful than I initially thought. That just sort of happens when you play these games. It's difficult to quantify exactly how much damage what is doing what, which might also be a bit of a failure, or something that these games have to do better necessarily. Okay, we got a move speed buff temporarily. That's cool. I actually would really like one of those power-ups that just draw everything to you, because I bet I have a lot of crap on this map I have not grabbed. I'm just going to do Radiant Light, level 9 or whatever the hell that was. My radiant light is overpowered. I hope the boss is something that I can get near. We will see. This might be a terrible investment. I don't remember what the pentagram does. Temporary damage boost, okay. I kind of like this big open area, so I'm just waltzing around in it while I wait for the boss to spawn. I'd say this game, I like it better, but it does have a lot of moments of, like, disengagement. Both with the menus popping up, but also just, like, I'm just kind of waiting here. Like, I already feel like I'm ready for the boss, and nothing particularly challenging is happening, because I've built pretty well. And so now I just am, like, wasting 7 minutes just kind of sitting around doing nothing. I also expected to be punished a little bit more for some of the silly things I was trying to build into, but it seems that the abilities overcompensate for that quite significantly. Death Must Die also has the same type of item progression where you gear characters, the later bosses have higher drop chances, and succeeding allows you to progress to harder stages to get more loot. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It seems like, in general, every time I beat a boss, it allows me to go to a different stage, and then the different stage offers, you know, different things. And it looks like I also freed a guy, which I'm assuming will be like another character we engage with. Okay. Increase the amount of potions. Okay. The problem is we don't have that many wells to send stuff up. Unless maybe I should just explore more and just waltz around for these 6 minutes trying to see if I can find a second well. I don't expect that this game would just have a second well, but I suppose we could see. The enemies are sort of useless at this point. I am confident I can take this boss. Looks like I should destroy these giant icicles. Stalagmites? Just to see. Oh, sweet, I got it. Okay, let's see if we get a bunch of level ups from this. I'm gonna get force, just to see if that does anything. I like the filling up noise. That's pretty good. I don't know if you can hear that. Increase our base crit. The raising pitch of filling a container up. Nice touch. Very satisfying. Let's break these. Okay. This map is pretty big, so seems like I have a lot of random experience and things I left along the way. Okay, this looks like a little boss. A mini boss. This game also has 500 achievements, which I suppose if you're an achievement hunter, that's definitely a bonus for you. Okay, we get another item. Defeat the Elder Giant. 2%. Okay. Okay, this item is actually fucking amazing. I wish I could send this item up. I absolutely love that item. Oh, man. It basically turns everything into like a potential firecracker, and so when the enemies stack up, it's like incredibly powerful. If I find a well, we're straight sending that up. I am not doing anything else. I will use that every single run. I would also like to see a game like this that's multiplayer. I don't remember if Vampire Survivors is multiplayer. I don't think it is, but they might have added it. This seems like kind of like a good chill game to like casually play with friends, even if you're doing the mental work of building stuff. But obviously they'd have to remove the pause ability for leveling up, so you'd have to actively decide when you want to level up, which might be challenging, but I'm sure somebody could figure it out. Pretty sure VS has multiplayer in the League game. Oh yeah, that's right. You mentioned the League game mode. I'll have to look into that, see if there's a video on it. But that makes a lot of sense. I'm just gonna increase range. Full send. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm assuming there'll be another achievement for survive 2 minutes and this particular level, as there has been for the last ones, and then we will see what the deal is. These guys that run into me are doing damage to me because they just sort of charge forward, so I have to keep wary of those a little bit. I've been wishing and praying that there is a wishing well. Also, is it called a well? It's kind of funny to imagine that you're sending things up in a well at the surface. But I guess it kind of did look like we're at the bottom of a well. So perhaps there's like a little pail and a bucket. Yep, 2 minutes left. Okay. We're getting close. Soon enough, there'll be no more skeletons to crunch. Might as well get our base health up in case the boss just decides to run into us over and over again. Got a little bit of an enemy blockade. It has been dealt with and reduced to nothing. I will also wonder if the fire attacks have some sort of elemental affinity on this level. It's difficult to tell, because everything is like frozen. And we did have an interaction with that frozen guy, frozen in the ice, but I don't know if the enemies themselves necessarily have a sort of elemental system. I noticed that I brought like a pyromancer, like ember flamethrower type of guy into the magma area, and he was just fine, absolutely blitzing everything in there. So let's take move speed in case we need it for the boss to dodge his attacks. So I don't think that there's any sort of elemental complex system or anything like that. Guess I'm just going to prioritize a couple level ups here while dodging these annoying icicle attacks. I also, like I said, another thing I like about this game is how visible the attacks are. The purple is very easy to see contrasted against the blue. Even against all the other enemies, too. They've really done a good job of making it visible. It doesn't feel like I'm fighting against understanding what's on the screen. Is this the boss? Okay, he is sort of just running up to me. Interesting to see that he's kind of fire-oriented, because this level is ice. We're seeing a lot of redundant attacks. I haven't seen anything particularly new for him, other than running towards me and spinning. I think as long as we survive this spinning, we will, also seems he can still catch on fire despite being fire. Okay, easy. The Lord of Hate felled by our unstoppable hammer and shield bash. Which, now that I look, does look like two separate animations, but it's kind of hard to tell. Actually, just look at the same animation repeated twice. Okay, I don't think we can just straight up find a well or anything, so we will leave. We will relent, head back to the surface, talk to the latest in the weird band of people that join. Oh, why is there a well right here? It honestly doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm reading them. I wonder why there's a well there. I can't seem to use it, though. Okay, take the portal home. I survived. And I made bank. Deal 200,000 burn damage is my next quest. That seems relatively easy. Oh, we got weird stuff. This guy new? Norseman? Perform alternating attacks with 1 of 2 axes. After hitting enough, cast Circular Nova. 250 hits to make that proc. That sounds terrible. Hunting Spear throws a spear that deals damage, follows Beast Huntress, and attacks the closest enemy. Kind of cool. Throws a spear. Okay. Do I want to play one more? I feel like I might. We'll play one more. Let's try the Hunter. He's a ranged character, so it's slightly different. I mean, they all kind of are vaguely ranged characters. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Good to see you again. And thank you. I'm Brother Marcus. The abbot of my monastery had an unhealthy obsession for the lords that rule the halls below our feet. So much so that he dedicated a large part of our scriptorium to their research. When the manic albeit the horrors I've witnessed have robbed me of quiet sleep forever, I have gained valuable knowledge about the halls in return. Whenever you slay one of their lords, bring me the torment shards.
Okay.
How can
I have torment shards. What can we do with them? Ooh, is this just a compendium of the items? Not many items, frankly. Kind of interesting. Unless maybe more appear or something. I don't know. Doesn't seem like there's that many items. What can I... Oh. Oh. Oh, you can like permanently affect their thing. Okay. It's like such a small percentage though. It almost feels like incredibly insignificant. I mean, really is a 0.2 attack speed like gonna be... I guess you can theoretically defeat the bosses as many times as you want. I actually have not beaten 2 of the same bosses, but I'm gonna assume here that they just give you their shard regardless. So then, doing a bit of math. 10 divided by 0.02. You would need to do 500 runs to get a 10% attack speed, which 10% is about where I feel like there's actually some significance. You have to beat 500 runs, which would be, if each run is 30 minutes, because you can't reduce the time of a run, that's 15,000 minutes divided by, see, that's 250 hours. I assume they start dropping more than one, and this affects the damage of everything, not just one ability. Yeah, that's interesting. It is interesting. I hope that there are bosses that drop more than one, but I'm already 4 levels in, and they have not dropped. Actually, I don't know if there's any more levels to unlock. There's nothing grayed out. There's the Chamber of Dissonance, which I have not been to yet. I guess that's the last. Yeah, maybe we'll try the Chamber of Dissonance next. Yeah. Okay, we have $33,000 though. That's a lot of fucking money. We're definitely buying the Scars of Toil. There is no way. Maybe a hard mode. Yeah, that's true. Maybe there is a hard mode. I wouldn't mind a challenge. I also noticed there's no modifier thing for me to set harder modifiers, so I wonder if we'll get access to that after I beat them all.
Greetings, my good friend.
Okay, so it's actually not difficult. We just got to get a couple things of each. It looks like we got these two last run. So theoretically, if we get a different one each time, we'll have those unlocked in relatively low time. That's good to know.
Greetings, traveler.
Honestly, I really like the just base dude. I'm going to play this guy just to see. We're going to spend some more money because whatever. I guess we got to make a build for him. Let's see. Our build's straightforward. Movement, attack speed, necromancer, scar of toil. Oh, that does give 10% movement speed. Base defense. And we can't fill out any of these other ones. Do I want the Gatherer's Charm? I feel like I need the Gatherer's Charm. Yeah, if I'm going to invest in getting any of these things, I probably need the Gatherer's Charm. Let's just do it until we have all the stuff unlocked. As much as I want more damage, it's not going to work. Alright. So we are going to be playing a slightly ranged character, but still attack is going to be valuable. So I will finish out my attack build, then we will invest in attack speed. We should invest in range a little bit. Let's do movement as well and health capacity. We don't have anything in health regeneration. Honestly, just do defense. Have a little bit of gold left. Block strength, I guess. Is there anything else cheap? Area projectile size. Okay. Whatever, we'll run with that. Okay, so we're spent. Let's try out this new character in the Chamber of Dissonance and see if I can survive another 30-minute run. I will turn on auto attack. I do not know what determines okay, something I like about this character is he has like what seems like an unlimited pierce. Like it just sort of goes through absolutely everything. I'm going to try a slightly different build order and go for these abilities as soon as possible. I have enough movement speed to focus on that. And these enemies are not very satisfying or swarmy to begin with. Our dog also seems to be doing work. I don't see any particularly breakable items in the... Oh, it's these pots. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. And yeah, definitely one of the big selling points about this game for me is definitely the graphics. I absolutely adore the Diablo style graphics. They did an amazing job in the art department. Actually, this herb says it's close. I'm going to focus on that, I think, instead. The light is at least throbbing as if it's close. There it is, okay. Okay, that has been collected. Some new enemies, exciting. Okay, 300 meters till our first ability. I'm praying it's lightning, but anything will do. We're taking damage. Our damage seems to be a little low. I would like to just one-tap these guys, theoretically, but I have a feeling I probably need to invest in a critical chance for that. Our regeneration seems faster than the last guy, that's for sure. Probably base defense, frankly. Okay, this is like a boss type enemy. Our dog can prioritize him as we make our way to this. I'm trying to keep the bosses like the closest enemy because that's what the dog attacks. And the dog seems to be a big damage dealer for us currently. I love these weird rabbit archers. Anthropomorphic rabbit archer thing. Kind of neat. Can't tell if they're like goats or what. Okay, attack speed definitely for this guy. He needs some attack speed. We're struggling here. Okay, 25 meters in this direction. And then I think once we kill the boss, we'll get another access to another ability here. Lightning, yes. I like Radiant Aura, but I'm going to try to keep things at a distance for now. Alright, then it's 900 meters in this direction for the other one. To the other side of the map. I'm going to keep focusing the boss primarily. Level ups are a little bit slow because we're keeping a big range against this guy. Perhaps it'd be useful to destroy these pots in hopes of getting a power-up that just draws all the missing EXP towards us. Okay, this guy's about to die. Okay, another ability. A moving ball of electricity towards random. It emits shockwaves at regular enemies. I really like Dragon's Breath for the status effect of burning everything, so I'm going to take that instead. And we're taking Strength. Pretty much the thing I've consistently built on most of my characters is just damage and attack speed. It seems like your base item does a lot, and then once you inevitably pick up the other abilities, you're just going to invest in that as well, so... attack speed. Oh, I actually should have read that other one. It looks like that would also attack speed and something else. I was too quick on my trigger finger there. Okay, force, health, damage, crit. I'm gonna do damage and crit bonus. Not sure if that's a controversial pick, but... Okay, I'm also, it looks like, moving towards the other herb we have to gather. I'm going to pick up the ability first, I think, and then make my way over to that after. I don't know what Force does. It's kind of vague. Check their stats to learn which are affected by... So we have the Spear Launcher. It doesn't really tell me what exactly is modified by... Oh, Piercing. So we can go through 6 enemies. So 20% force, I'm assuming, is going to change that. Yeah, so now it's 7 enemies. Okay. I guess that makes sense. We learn. Our build becomes more intelligent as it grows with us. I want this pot. Frankly, lightning's getting upgraded. Our sweet child is maturing into something much tougher. Okay, we're starting to see the limit of our spears based on our force. That's kind of cool. I'm going to do base block. And pray I get a good power up, I suppose. Okay, 80. Phantom Needles. Definitely doing that. I don't like arcane splitters because they clutter the hell out of the screen. And it's hard to see what the hell is happening. Force and health. Let's do it. I mean, force is just going to make our weapon better, so... I think I'm going to do base defense. I haven't been hit a lot because I'm pretty fast, but it's something I'm concerned about. Do I really need range? No, let's just upgrade Phantom Needles. Let them do their work. Oh, it looks like we got a little boss here. Definitely damage. Definitely damage. To answer that question again. Definitely damage. We have not used Frost Avalanche, and there are achievements based on every ability, how much damage they do, so I'm taking that. Hallucinogenic Elixir. Hallucinogenic Elixirs, okay. I love the cubes. These designs are amazing. That design looks great. Lightning Strike. Now, actually, the cube makes me wonder, because earlier in the game, there was the character, it was these slimes that sort of just look like rocks, and they only moved orthogonally, so that was up, left, down, right. But obviously that's different looking on an isometric view. These cubes don't seem to be bound by the limits of orthogonal movement, but it is interesting to see them move that way. I'm doing attack speed on the needles for sure. Okay, I'm going to wait to send anything up in the well. I'm not really too enthusiastic about sending up the hallucinogenic elixir because I do not know its effect. So I don't really care about expanding the capacity of buying more of them when I don't really know what it does. I would much rather get a really good like helmet or item. That would be much more beneficial to send up for future runs. And I'm still missing a second ring in my ring slot. My second ring slot. So anything related to those two things would be my most ideal send up so that we can have that on future runs. Something with some sort of synergy with a particular character would also be nice. Whether it's like, you know, I don't know. Honestly, my priority would be something that is synergistic with another character. That makes it easier to run through a particular run. Or something that stacks or has some sort of investment that's better to have like early game. That would be something I would hold more esteem towards. The skeletons do put in a lot of work with this necromancer ring, so I'm not opposed to getting like a summoning ring or something, but I'd be curious to see if there's something better. Oh man, these all kind of suck. I'm gonna do multi-strike, I guess. Reluctantly, he decides multi-strike is the choice. I'm just gonna wander. I'm trying to kill enemies to get levels up as well, but I do want to... Oh, sorry, we have a herb to get as well. Might as well make our way to that. It's kind of subtle in the UI over here in this corner. I don't notice it. It's there. Okay, we have a boss, I think. I think that's what the hell that was. It's kind of difficult to see what's going on. I'm getting a ton of level ups. And my health is still good. Let's just increase that. Bulwark, weird. No, I'll do this. This is defense and block strength, so I might as well choose the superior version. 20% damage, I'm always a fan of damage increase. Damage from main weapon, I'm fine with that. This looks like the boss. Okay. We're level 30. I see damage. I take damage. I see damage. I take damage. For anything, it doesn't matter. I also love attack speed. Kind of cool looking. Damage. Okay, let's see if we get a good item. Please, something good. Okay, that's not a bad item. Probably better than my base defense and 25% health, frankly. Oh, dude, Echoing Band. Bro, I'm sending this up immediately. Actually, should we wait to the end? It's so good. I want to be sure I send it up. There is no other choice. I am sending up Echoing Band. That is like the best fucking item ever. Basically what it does is it's like, what, a 20% chance? I'll have to check my thing in a second. It is a 20% chance to spawn a shockwave whenever you hit something with your physical damage, and deals 40% of the original damage in a 3.5 meter radius. So you have a 1 in 5 chance of creating a shockwave, and then so like if all the enemies are clumped up, it only gets stronger and stronger, basically. It's like super cool. Much synergy echoing outward. Very great item. Definitely an insta-buy for me. I'm sure it'll be expensive in the shop, though. So we gotta remember to send that up. But I'm gonna utilize it for now. I have quite a bit of base run speed. I don't think I need that at all. Seems like enemies can get stuck on walls here quite significantly. 20 minutes left. I'd say the moments I feel most engaged in this game are when there is a boss fight with like telegraphed attacks that I'm avoiding, like this. Like I really do enjoy this. I like the positioning. I feel like I'm doing movements that like actually contribute to dodging something. It just feels like there's too much time for the mindless swarm. Okay, we'll try Arcane Rift. Like I said, all of these abilities have different damage achievements, so we might as well just start trying different ones out so we can start unlocking. Because every time you complete one of the 500 achievements in this game, you get gold for it. So that's pretty advantageous. Alright, we'll just wait for the enemies to make their way to me slowly, and then I can stand on these arcane rifts if they make it close enough. Doesn't look like that's happening. Arcane rifts seem like a good thing if I'm getting swarmed, but my dog as well as my abilities are keeping everything relatively at bay. Kind of a cool positional ability. Makes you think a little bit about tactics. I'm just going to do base health. I'm worried that the boss is going to just dry hump me or something into submission. Now I'm going to take a bunch of damage because of a lack of invincibility frames. I'm just going to take health again. I feel more comforted by more health, even if I don't think it's necessarily necessary. Oh, is there a nut? I forgot. I still haven't got the herb yet. I keep getting sidetracked. Oh, it's right there. Okay. We were here all along. She's not there mentally. A truffle, okay. Didn't expect that to be here, but Perhaps somebody has an exquisite and refined taste in the Chamber of Dissonance. Perhaps somebody just spends a little bit of extra money on the food they like. The refined palate of somebody who lives in these adorned and royal walls that seem kind of decrepit, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe you gotta get the maid to come in and clean out some of these skulls for sure. Unless that's your thing. Unless you're just really into that sort of thing. I mean, I'm not trying to kink shame here. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. I just think, you know, it's kind of uncleanly, I guess. Little robot spiders, okay. Seem to have a long-range grenade launcher type ability with fireballs. Among the other weird clockwork machinations in the Chamber of Dissonance we are dealing with. Good thing my dog can bite through anything. I do not find myself wanting a companion different. The dog will do. Clearly has not been missing his mewing, the jaw strength on this guy. Bones, clockwork monsters, demons of hell, nothing stops him. Okay, I'm gonna take attack speed. I feel comfortable with 858 life. I am not getting relatively attacked, and my dog does not have a health bar, so that does not matter. We also just have 16 minutes of kind of nothing happening, so settle in. Oh, we got a new boss. Attack speed, I guess. Not really sure. I guess that just makes rifts appear more often than I think about it. Probably kind of stupid choice, but let's take the whatever the hell that is. Gonna level up all the achievements. We're gonna get all the achievements. Alright, we seem to have completed everything we came in here for. I'm excited to send up the echoing band. Okay, Arcane Rift really wants to be upgraded. But I think if it had a bigger blast radius, that would have a higher chance of being useful to me. Okay, okay, things are happening. I spoke too soon. I feel more progression as things start to swarm me. Kind of debating if I want to politely make this harder for myself just by sending the band up earlier. Make it slightly more interesting. I actually would like to see a game like this with more terrain type effects, like moving platforms and things like that. Things you have to, you know, I mean, we have a lot of freedom with our ability to sort of waltz around this giant map, that the map just feels like a secondary, non-interesting sort of entity. It would be nice if I had things to avoid and actively move against, like a pit of spikes that would open up and close and allow me to walk on temporarily. We're going to take force for the piercing, I think. Ideas, ideas, ideas. I also quite like there's a lot more people with the indie game scene coming in that are taking different genres and trying to mash them together. It seems like roguelite mixed with insert genre here seems to be the most fascinating fixation currently. This idea of, I think even Balatro, like poker and roguelite, as well as like a bunch of other weird roguelike type games that are coming out that all seem to mix either card games with roguelites, or I'm sure there's like a cooking game with a roguelite. Like they just keep adding them. It's kind of interesting. I'd be curious to see some much more strange combinations. But like, for example, you could probably have something absurd like a Vampire Survivor game with like a 4X type city builder or something. Like that could be an interesting concept. Or perhaps like the Vampire Survivor game with a tower defense mix. That would be interesting as well. I have seen that done slightly before. There are mobs and enemies that sort of place turrets, and I've seen people there's been characters, I forget the name of the game, but my cousin and I played it. Base crit. What is this thing? Oh, is there like a puzzle here? Dog. There's been a puzzle in the Chamber of Dissonance this whole fucking time. Or is that just supposed to light that up? Okay, I actually don't care about the lore. The fuck does this thing do? There's something interesting afoot. I want to shine this on this thing again. Okay, we're getting a lot more people here, but... Oh, there's this pillar in the way. Okay. I think I gotta light up that stone. Okay, okay. Figures all these guys pick up right when I don't want to deal with them. This multi-mass body thing is actually really funny. It just tosses all these guys at us. We may die. He's doing a lot of damage. It's kind of difficult to see with all this shit going on. Okay. Alright, what do we got? Medusa Mask. 100% chance to apply slow. Okay. Damage bonus based on champions, elite bosses killed with the spark equipped. Does not reset between runs. Has diminishing returns. That's just going to get better as time goes on, but this is still better. Okay, let's humor me. I want to see what the effect on this is. It is 0% bonus. Okay, that thing probably is better late game. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, whatever. Attack bonus. Where is the... here's the light. Turn this way. I want to see what's down here. Oh, okay. Does this go somewhere? I assume we have to turn it. Okay. Okay, well, we're getting farther away from the wellspring, so just to make sure we don't die with this echoing band while I'm investing time in this puzzle, I want to just send this up to get rid of it. I would feel much more comfortable having that in every future run, frankly. 10% damage, of course. Band is what we're sending up. And then... Okay. And then we're going back to the laser, and then we're going to try to do this laser puzzle before we die. Obviously, the band is like a significant bonus, so to lose it, we probably will be closer to dying, but I'm willing to pay that cost for the band to have it on every future run. Okay. So we gotta lock in a little bit here. Game's getting fucking serious. Okay. Let's take the lightning increase for the multi-strike, and then Where do we think this goes? I have a feeling it goes down. That's what my gut is telling me. Because I think I need to link it up with... Oh, I was right. Okay. I think it needs to go the other way. I think it needs to go this way. I was correct. A lot of money over here. Let's do base defense so we live a little longer. I suspect this also goes left. I think we have to light up this crystal thing. Oh, no, we don't. Okay. Maybe it goes down. Yeah, it does go down. Okay. Maybe I should just... fuck it. Let's just do attack speed. I think this goes around this way. Like I said, my assumption is this crystal needs to be lit up, but I don't know if that's true. Maybe incorrect. Did I just send myself on a fool's journey? Nope, I did not. Okay. Is this one that we think needs to be moved or not? I don't know. Guess we'll follow it. Okay, this goes nowhere. So now to go back into this horde of enemies. I think we're gonna go left, honestly. Ah, do we gotta go right, though? That doesn't make sense. It's coming from the right, isn't it? Give it attack speed. Yeah, we can't. We gotta go this way. Oh, God. Okay, let's go up. Let's see if there's anything up, and then I'll go... Oh! Okay, there is something up. I don't know where the hell we're going with this. Okay, we got another boss mob. Oh, he's dead. Okay. Yeah. We're doing that. Base... Oh, we're doing base defense. Fuck it. This goes through the wall. I don't think that's intentional. I'm gonna be honest. So we're gonna go back. Okay, we are so fucking dead. Alright, oh wait, I think this went left 2-1. Ooh, shit, what do we need? Regen, I guess. The orthogonal movement is actually throwing me off now, because I'm not used to it. It's been 2 maps in the beginning that they had it, and then they removed it from my purview. And now it has become nothing but a weakness. Okay. Let's do move speed. I know regeneration was there, but if I can just dodge everything, it doesn't matter. And I'm worried I'm not going to have health for the boss either. Defense is probably what we want. He says, concerned. Alright, we can't go up. We gotta obviously go, what, fucking this way? There's nothing left. There's nothing right. Unless that's like a fake wall that I was supposed to continue forward with. Base block strength. Alright, just to make sure, this is oh, what is going on here? We're crossing lines and shit. Okay, we got a new boss. Should probably take him out. He seems kind of annoying. I don't like that. I'm getting out of that. Okay, that's also annoying. Dog, I need you to be more vigilant about biting the things closest to me, since they all want my ass. Okay, I'm gonna get this thing, I think. The puzzle kind of in my purview. Oh, I should have base block strength, but I just wanted to move so fast. I got that Sonic in me. Is this gonna help us survive? I know not, but I will grab it. Yeah, we want something more explosive, I think. Okay, where's this boss at? I need to kick his ass. Okay, I think he's over there to the left. I sort of lost the plot with our laser. Okay, here it is. I think we just need to go right and we're good. I think that's the last part of this puzzle. Yep. Oh, I thought I was dead. Will we survive long enough to see what this does? We shall see. Did it do anything? I don't know. What the fuck does this thing do? It's kind of hard to see with all this shit happening, though. I really don't want to be in the corner, I think. Okay, arcane rift portals just get in the way. Remember that for future runs. That is kind of fucking annoying. Okay, no, that's not what we wanted. Just keep doing your thing. We're gonna try to kill this boss. Okay, he's dead. I'm gonna try to get an item. See if that can save us. Base defense and movement speed. Pretty good. Okay. Yeah, let's take it. Got nothing else. 4 minutes left. Yeah, this place is pretty difficult, I'm gonna be honest. I really need health gain, and there's not pickups. Our move speed is actually helping, though, quite significantly. I'm glad I invested in that. I guess Phantom Needles. Pray they help me. Little bodies coming everywhere. Okay, this lit up obelisk is still throbbing. Do I get some kind of bonus by being within it? That's also a consideration. Duelist Spark. Oh, that's just from attacking things, I guess. Base block is what we're getting up for sure. I can read the lore again. Maybe. Probably not. Increase our crit chance, why not? Guess we gotta keep moving. Otherwise we meet our fateful end. I suppose I can just run for a couple of minutes. Let's try to get these, just in case there's health pickups in there. Nope, okay. Alright, we're gonna run like a madman. Not towards the enemies, idealistically. We have 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Assuming we're good and can avoid every attack the boss throws at us. Will be a point in our favor. Let's try to go towards... Oh, this hand is actually kind of useful. Okay. God, alright, we want movement speed for sure. The higher our chance of dodging shit, the better. Base health for sure. Let's try to get that invested. I'm gonna do crit chance, just so my attacks have more meaningfulness. How many dragon breath? Fuck it. Base health. I'm taking it. Damage. Base block or move. Let's do move. Dragon breath. You can see all the shit I missed in this game. Dragon breath. Base damage on these weird orbs that float around and do damage. I want regen actually, more than base block strength. It'd be nice if I could get some health up before the boss in the next 2 minutes. I'm just gonna try to avoid everything. See if we can beat this last level with the hunter, or if it's unrealistic expectations. Oh, there's another hand. That doesn't necessarily matter that much because I sort of picked up everything on the map, but it's cool to know that there it is there. I want to make my way back to this obelisk, see if I can do anything with it. I wonder if it's like a post-game thing you're supposed to do. Like you're not supposed to do it while you're fighting all the enemies. It's just something you're supposed to do afterwards, and then you can actually engage with it, but I don't know. Okay, trying to thread the needle through these foreground pillars. These like aqueduct looking barricades is actually kind of difficult. We'll do range in case we want to range the boss a little bit. Okay, let's just go ahead and assume that that's a post-game thing, and for some reason I feel safer when I run upwards. I don't know why that is. Okay, this is terrible. Okay, we will continue. 20 seconds. We're 51 meters away from that pickup, which should give us maybe another level up if I miss anything. Okay, this is bad. Let's go left, actually. 6 seconds. I wonder if we can still get the pickup. Let's go through here. Okay, boss spawn. Enemies are dead. Let's go for the pickup. Ignore him for now. Dog will attack the closest enemy. Maybe we can see some of these abilities before we commit to anything. Did I miss the pickup? I don't know where it's at. Okay, it's 25 meters in this direction over here. Okay, this is the boss. I still don't see the pickup. Okay, it's somehow right here, but not. Maybe I need to walk along this wall. I have no fucking idea. It says it's right there. Oh, taking damage. Okay, this guy's got abilities I may be able to dodge if I am more prudent. Okay. Let's do more range. He seems like he's really likes to send these things at us. Okay, because our thing seems permanently multi-split, we gotta aim slightly in a different direction. Dog, what are you doing? Attack him. Our skeleton's going hard. Our lightning is just focusing him. Okay. We're doing alright. Okay. A little scary. Oh, we should run forward there. Okay, he's getting way too close for comfort. Let's back up. Give me some breathing room, buddy. Made it back to the obelisk. Okay. We have 1 torment shard. No, I don't want to leave the halls yet. Okay, so the portal's over there. Do we figure out what this thing does? I don't think we did. Oh, they're well over here for some reason. I don't see any kind of active buff. Alright. Let's just leave the halls. Wherever the portal is. Probably should make that on the foreground for that, frankly. Ugh. Congratulations. Did a bunch of shit. Our dog did 500,000 damage. Echoing Band did a lot of damage too. I bet that would have done a lot more damage near the end too. Lightning Strike is always a top contender. Oh, we got something new. Oh, we got this guy too. Arquebus? Throws a grenade. Unique weapons. Interesting. That's kind of cool. Like a jester type character? What the hell is this? Oh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Enables agony mode. Based on your performance. That is exactly what I was looking for. Challenge. Okay, sweet. First off, we're buying the Echoing Band, and then that is becoming mainstay. No, these. Okay, we just need a helmet and a mark. Can I save this? Yeah. Can we...
How can I be of service?
Okay, we're slowly making our way.
Do come back
Greetings.
alive.
Okay.
May wisdom guide you.
Interesting. I like the swath of characters we have to choose from, and I appreciate that we finally got something that makes the game more difficult. Even though I was struggling that last run, for sure. Probably increasing attack speed is my main priority. Okay, sweet. I think I'm gonna go make food. I appreciate anyone that came out to listen to my ramblings. We're probably gonna get back to Jump Off the Bridge soon, but I want to take a break and try something else new out. So thank you for coming. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the stream, cool. We'll talk soon. I'm out. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day. And peace. No problem. Thank you for being here, Puzzle. Have a great night.